The next and final stage is the gearbox. Taking it apart. This is the cap which holds the lubricant, the plug hole, and as you can see it has a lot of residues and metal particles onto it. And this is how it looks like when clean, sort of. Has at least a depth of nearly a centimeter or 10 millimeters. Now taking this apart should not be a problem. It's a pretty straightforward system, just plug and play. Let's go with bolt number 1. Here we have the bell housing. I took it off the first part of the gearbox. Noticeable damages are over here. These cars tore up the aluminium. Back to the gearbox now. I will be taking apart the other piece, the linkage system. I'll start off just by the linkage itself, and I'll move downwards to its unit from here. Moving on to the next problem here, this is the first and reverse selector. This is the second and the third selector. This one is the fourth and fifth. This is factory made, this is a pathway, but these are not. Stress marks due to bad leverage have been forming there. You see if the handle does have similar markings. Does not seem to have. However, this will be replaced. Also, the bearing was suffering a lot of free play, and it does have a grinding noise. So the next stage now is separating the main chambers to see what's the hold up inside and why all the lags and all the problems which were being caused. Here you can see the bearing which was close to the flange here. Basically, due to all the vibrations it was suffering from the prop shaft, it's making a lot of grinding noises, and also it's very wiggly. I will be checking also the main bearings from inside, and I will be taking apart the front end, leaving the centerpiece still attached, and then taking everything apart bit by bit. have us the first piece of the housing. Now. This bearing is not like this one over here. This used to hold the clutch, this shaft. So, no wonder all the rattling in the gearbox. The final part's complete. I've taken apart the gearbox, as you can see. Here we have a particular amount of sludge. You can see here, let me see, like so. That's probably due to mix-up of different grades and different brands. Finally, everything mechanical is taken out. The only thing left I will show you later on is the tank, just pulling it out, that's all. And the hardest part in knowing what's damaged and dealing with it is over then. The main issue I've come across is the linkages. They're badly damaged. Let me show you here. So, this one's clearly bent from here to another piece. Show you here. This one is the second and third gear. Here we have these parts which are a bit tattered. Now, these will be replaced. Good. This one's a bit more straight. Has not the same problem as the fourth and fifth linkage, but you see the deflection over here. Now, the next puzzle. This one has been tampered with, and as you can see, has been welded and grinded off. This one takes care of the reverse and first. For the next piece, I have reassembled the whole layout of the gearbox. You have the primary shafts from the flywheel onto the main shaft, also the flange that connects onto the prop shaft, the bearings. This one does not have that much free play, so it's still badly damaged, but this one is less. This one is a bit more, and this one is badly damaged. Also had eaten away the midsections of here. I would hopefully try to find another shaft of this one. Mainly due to because this shaft has been spinning on a bent flywheel, so I need to check all the shafts for alignment. This one is the secondary shaft. As you can see, the bearings are much better than the primary ones, but they still do have some misalignment onto them. This one is the final drive gear, which sits between both shafts, primary and secondary. And here we have the selectors. This one is for the first and reverse. This one's for the second and third, and fourth and fifth. Now, here we do have some noticeable damage. Teeth are not as aligned as they should be. They're actually a bit eaten off. I will be trying to find a set of new Synchro meshes. I will be changing all the bearings, all necessary bushes, and I will be removing all these gears to see what's happening underneath. Next problem I've noticed was the galleries here. So these channels have these fitted between them and the selector arms. It sits like this, and you have the pivot point here, which sits with the housing over there. The selector arm sits onto its channel, and while the whole gearbox is rotating, the shafts are rotating, these guides will just sit onto it like so while it's rotating, and if it's engaged, in this case it's the second or third mesh, If this is engaged, it will either push or pull for engaging the second gear or the third gear. As you can see, you just push it onto one side, and when they get aligned, they will just click into position. Now the problem I'm facing is this thing. These are badly worn out. As you can see, they have tremendous amount of free play. It's passed way beyond its limits, even just by looking at it. There's this much distance, mostly because it was misaligned due to the problem with these. These were not putting the proper force to it, therefore they were putting tremendous amount of stress in order to just click into position. They were just rocking it first in order to make access. I will be taking all gears apart and replacing the synchro meshes, that's for sure, checking the springs which are loaded inside them, taking out this shaft over here. It has these kind of synchro meshes. They're badly worn. Remember, it's not the mileage that counts, it's the maintenance that's primary to every vehicle and every kind of machinery. So this car has been subdued to tremendous amounts of stress, basically due to several changes in ownerships. But as you can see, from now on, once these gears will be checked by specialists as well as to see what needs to be changed and not, these will be replaced by new ones, or just I'll rebuild some. I'll see which is best. Basically, if I'll find new, I'll try those, and from here on out, just take it out and reassemble it later on according to specs. I have the exploded view diagrams, and I will be making a separate video once I get to the gearbox. So until that time, these ones will be neatly placed, and I will be taking notes. I already took a note of the damage which regards the as you can see down here, brakes, differential, half shafts. Everything's organized in those areas. We'll be just taking more notes on them, and that's just about it. Now I'll be taking the tank out, and I would be finished from dismantling. So, moving on.